Hi friends, welcome back to Nurse's Nook and Corner. Come, it's time to know about the basic investigation in cardiology. If you didn't subscribe the channel, don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon to get the uploaded videos. Let's start with the cardiac markers. Creatinine kinase, myocardial muscle, that is CKMB. An elevation in value indicates the myocardial damage. An elevation occurs within hours and peaks at 18 hours following an acute ischemic attack. And the normal value is for male 2 to 6 nanogram per milliliter and for female 2 to 5 nanogram per milliliter. Secondly, in cardiac markers, troponin level is seen. Troponin is composed of three proteins, that is troponin C, cardiac troponin I and cardiac troponin T. Troponin I specially has a high affinity for myocardial injury. It rises within 3 hours and persists for up to 7 to 10 days. The normal value of troponin I is less than 0.3 nanogram per milliliter and troponin T less than 0.2 nanogram per milliliter. The third cardiac marker is myoglobin. Myoglobin is an oxygen binding protein found in cardiac and skeletal muscle. The level rises within 2 hours of the cell death in myocardium with a rapid decline in the level after 7 hours. However, it is not cardiac specific. The normal value is 25 to 72 nanogram per milliliter. The second is complete blood count. In complete blood count, you are going to look in RBC, that is red blood cell. In red blood cell, the normal range is 4.7 to 6.1 million cells per microliter, and the RBC count decreases in rheumatic heart disease and infective endocarditis and increases in condition characterized by inadequate tissue oxygenation. The next one is white blood cell. The white blood cell normal range is 4,500 to 11,000 cells per microliter. The white blood cell count increases in infectious and inflammatory disease of the heart and after MI because large number of white blood cells are needed to deposit the necrotic tissue resulting from the infarction. The next investigation is hematocrit. In hematocrit, the normal range is 41% to 50%. Therefore, an elevated hematocrit level can be a result from vascular volume depletion. The next is the blood coagulation factors. An increase in the coagulation factor can occur during and after MI, which places the client at a greater risk for thrombophlebitis and formation of clots in the coronary arteries. The next investigation is homocysteine. The homocysteine normal range is less than 15 micromoles per liter. If there is an elevated homocysteine, then it denotes that there is a risk of cardiovascular disease. Microalbuminuria. So, a small amount of protein in the urine has been a marker for endothelial dysfunction in the cardiovascular disease. Next is the electrolytes. So, the first one is potassium. In potassium, if the normal range is decreased, then it leads to hypokalemia. So it is due to cause of increased cardiac electrical instability, ventricular dysarrhythmias, increased risk of digoxin toxicity, and you can see ECG changes such as inversion of T wave, the appearance of U wave, and the ST depression. the normal potassium level is 3.5 to 5 milliequivalent per liter, and if it goes above 5, then it leads to hyperkalemia. The hyperkalemia causes asystole, ventricular dysarrhythmias, and in ECG you can see changes such as tall peaked T waves, widened QRS complexes, and prolonged PR intervals or flat P waves. Next is calcium. The normal range is 8 to 12 mg per deciliter. So, if it decreases, then it leads to hypocalcemia, which causes ventricular dysarrhythmias, prolonged ST and QT interval, and cardiac arrest. If it is elevated above 12 mg per deciliter, then it leads to hypercalcemia, which causes shortened ST segment and widened T wave, atrioventricular block, tachycardia or bradycardia, digitalis hypersensitivity, and cardiac arrest. Next is magnesium. So the normal range of magnesium is 1.7 to 2.2 mg per deciliter, and if it is less, then it is hypomagnesemia, which causes ventricular tachycardia, fibrillation, tall T waves, and depressed ST segments. In case of elevated magnesium level, it causes hypermagnesemia, which causes muscle weakness, hypotension, and bradycardia. The blood urea nitrogen level is seen elevated in heart disorders that adversely affect the renal circulation, such as in conditions of heart failure and cardiogenic shock. B-type natriuretic peptide (BNP). BNP is released in response to atrial and ventricular stretch. It serves as a marker for heart failure. BNP level should be less than 100 pg per ml. As higher the level, the more severe the heart failure. ECG, that is electrocardiography. This is a common non-invasive diagnostic test that records the electrical activity of the heart and is useful for detecting cardiac dysarrhythmias, location and extent of MI and cardiac hypertrophy, and it is useful for evaluation of the effectiveness of cardiac medications. Holter monitoring. Holter monitor is a type of ambulatory electrocardiography device, a portable device for cardiac monitoring for at least 24 to 72 hours. The Holter's most common use is for monitoring ECG heart activity. Echocardiography, which uses the names of echocardiogram, cardiac echo, or simply an echo, is an ultrasound of the heart. Echocardiography uses standard 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional, and Doppler ultrasound to create the images of heart. Exercise echocardiography testing, that is stress test. It is an exercise ECG that is done to assess the heart's response to stress or exercise. In this test, the ECG is recorded while you are exercising on a treadmill or stationary bike. Myocardial nuclear perfusion imaging (MPI). Myocardial perfusion imaging or scanning is a nuclear medicine procedure that illustrates the function of heart muscle. It evaluates many heart conditions such as coronary artery disease, hypertrophic myocardiopathy, and heart wall motion abnormalities. Magnetic resonance imaging (MRI scan). A powerful magnetic field, radio waves, and a computer to produce detailed pictures of the structures within and around the heart. Cardiac MRI is used to detect or monitor cardiac disease and to evaluate the heart's anatomy and function in patients with both heart disease. Electron beam computed tomography EBCT. EBCT is a fast and sensitive test for detecting calcium built up in the arteries of the heart. It uses an electron gun instead of regular X-rays to scan the chest. Cardiac catheterization. Cardiac catheterization is the insertion of catheter into the chamber or vessel of the heart. This is done both for diagnostic and interventional purposes. Intravascular ultrasonography IVUS. IVUS is a medical imaging methodology using a specially designed catheter with a miniaturized ultrasound probe attached to the distal end of the catheter. The proximal end of the catheter is attached to computerized ultrasound equipment to visualize the heart. Thank you, friends. Keep watching and supporting. If you didn't subscribe the channel, don't forget to subscribe the channel. Follow us in Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, as well as in YouTube. If you like the video, press the like icon and share it to your friends. Thank you.